What's the silence saying this morning?
I got co-creation.
Saying welcome to the land of wind. A lot of wind in Denmark today.
Mm.
Been storming since yesterday.
Wow.
My word was evolving.
Mm. Sounds like a lot of momentum too, Heinz.
Creating together, co-creation. Evolving. Evolve. Change. Different. Being, doing different.
Mm.
From that, I got expanding horizons.
Expanding with.
Horizons.
Nice.
Horizon to horizon, even 180 to 360. 60.
Mm.
I don't see it on the XY, but also the Z, the depth, the emotional layer, layers of it
Mm.
expanding. 360. Expanding into 3D, 3 dimensions, 3 dimensions plus. Moving from binary, yes, no, maybe. You know, it connects you to the co-creation, kind of brings it back.
Afternoon, Ian.
Morning, everyone.
Hi,
Good
Ian.
afternoon. Hi, Ian.
Hi, Chi. Hi, Jesse. Hi, Alison.
Hi, Ian.
Just notice where your thinking is in time. It will be connected to a emotion, feeling. And that feeling is only felt right now. And we stretch it out, whichever direction we're thinking, to the future or to the past, or right now. For now, we're just focusing on being present. Present in the words of co-creating. Co-creating with our thoughts and our emotions, our feelings about them. So we may evolve, expand choices, horizons, views, limitations, expanding.
Morning, Nikki.
Morning, Hans.
Morning, Nikki.
Morning, Nikki.
Morning, Ian. Afternoon, Ian.
Good morning, Nikki. Welcome.
Good
back.
morning, Jesse. I didn't go anywhere. Didn't know I went anywhere. Thanks. But thank you.
Morning, Nikki.
Morning, Alison.
We'll pop to the words in there, bringing in the words so far was co-creation. Noticing the present thoughts and feelings. Evolving that from the present to where do we want to be? It's the evolution. Expanding horizons. The choices, the perspectives. Creating this space.
Come, Nikki. Come. Go. Come. Creative structure. How it is. What it is. Just it is. However it appears, however it is. And our choice to wonder, be curious, look at, well, how do I want it? What would I choose? How could it?
My word for the day is change.
Hmm.
I'm going to be a bit vulnerable, but the past few days, I'll say the past few months, but really the past few days. I've been noticing my people pleasing behaviors, my Mr. Nice behaviors, and I've been seeing how dysfunctional they actually are. Like how dysfunctional me being overly nice is. How dysfunctional it is I keep my voice down to keep others happy. How dysfunctional it is that I used to fear conflict, so I would just stay small.
Yes.
But I've also got compassion for myself because I understand me growing up. I was judged a lot, judged a hell of a lot. And I was trained, I was taught that in order to be accepted, in order to be liked, in order to receive love, I need to be extra nice. If I'm extra nice, then I'll be loved. If I'm extra nice, people won't see my weight. They'll, I was taught that I need to be nice. Survival, it was a coping mechanism, but I've just come to see how dysfunctional it is. And there's a difference between being Mr. Nice and a good guy. There's a difference. Yeah, I'm just feeling quite emotional because this is going to be quite vulnerable. But what I've seen is my Mr. Nice guy behaviors. I thought I was doing it because I thought I was being a good person, but I've actually seen that I had an agenda behind it. I wanted love. So I was doing it to receive love. So I had an agenda. It wasn't pure. Yeah, and I'm just feeling quite emotional around it. Yeah. Because I actually thought I was doing it from a good place, but I was doing it because I wanted approval, I wanted love.
So the
Just
crying,
face.
sorry.
I was just facing that aspect of myself and feeling it, but also feeling compassion because I can see why I was that way. I did it to receive love. Sorry for putting in Alison. Sorry.
I just felt the release with the crying. And it's almost like your body is now able to really open to receive for exactly what you are. And you get to recognize that the love is there. And it's really powerful.
I just used to think because of my weight and my appearance that I need to be extra nice to receive love because I was judged so much. But I just thought that I need to be extra nice to receive love. That has just been really dysfunctional. Sorry.
Oh, no, thank you, Ian. This is a wonderful thing to celebrate with you.
Yes, the healing is in the emptying.
Like even with my mum, I used to go above and beyond because I thought that I needed to do more to get love from her. So I used to go above and beyond just to receive a little bit of love. But I used to disguise it and I'm a good person, but it wasn't. It was dysfunction of one and love.
What comes up for me is that you're rearranging the flow of love. There's still the same amount of love, but you're just redirecting where it goes first and where it goes from there. And we don't realize when we start out with our automatic patterns that there is a more efficient way of working with our energy, and that it ends up being so much more true to the love that we do have inside of us.
Me being Mr. Nice Guy ended yesterday. Still going to be
Amen.
kind of looking, but good, being a good person and being Mr. Nice Guy is completely different. And I see the difference now, whereas before I didn't.
Mhm.
Nikki helped me to see it. We were talking on a private chat. So thank you,
Mhm.
Nikki. Nikki helped me
Mhm.
to see it.
Mhm.
By being honest with me.
Mhm.
The honest, yeah, that's what I needed, the honesty. So thank you, Nikki.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm sitting here, Ian, with a huge big smile on my face.
And just because you ain't Mr. Nice Guy doesn't mean you don't can be gentle, generous, and a good guy anyway. It's just you don't speak what other people want to hear. You speak your heart. You're not a people pleaser. It just doesn't mean you have to change from being Ian. Just a new Ian.
Hmm.
Yeah, to give in, like, it's not that I'm gonna change as a person. If I want to give and be kind, it's from my heart, not because I want approval or love.
Exactly like when you bought that girl a drink. That was just being friendly Ian. It was not because you wanted to be nice or anything. It was just being friendly to your sister's friend, and she asked if you want to get in bed with her.
It's just all been mashed up. Like, it's hard to explain, like he meshed. I can see it like the good guy and who I really am, and it's all been enmeshed.
Yes.
But separated now, and I'm seeing a difference. So yeah, still be myself, but do it from my heart, not from, oh, I want to prove myself, or I want it to be loved, or I'm being extra nice because I want them to like me. No.
No. You be Ian, not be what they expect you to be. Just be Ian.
Thank you, Heinz.
Now it becomes a choice. And that's where the truth gets flushed into it, gets flushed out of it. Yeah, it's like, oh, there's the choice. It's like, oh, am I doing the old pattern or am I doing it something new for a change? We all have them. We all have our own unique versions. Only when we observe them can we look at, oh, look at that dysfunction.
And you can feel it instantly if it's expansive for your personal self or if it's contracting.
Yeah. Changing the space, changing the charge, changing the story. Changing the feeling. My honor in changing the dysfunction.
Our mind is like it's like a gatekeeper.
Mm.
Very important not to take negative thoughts in, about being less worthy or not loved and all that. It's all up to us what we're letting in, what we're allowing our minds to take in.
It's a belief that love has to be earned, but I see it now, so I can change it.
Mm.
You're strong, Ian. You take your power back.
Mm.
You show a lot of strength. Good to see you.
Not the easiest thing to do, looking at yourself, but I want to, so I choose to.
Mm.
And if people truly love you, they will be there for you, not for what you can do for them.
The ultimate knowledge is the knowledge of oneself.
Yeah.
I think that's what our real purpose is, what you said, Chi. And when we really study that and do what Ian could do with support,
Mhm.
we discover so much more love
Mhm.
than what we ever could have imagined existed.
Yep.
We're built for co-creation and collaboration and community.
I can just feel it turn around, and the time now is to discover myself. I can also feel I'm clear on a lot of ancestral stuff as well.
Mm.
Which I chose to take on, so I could clear it. Because on the other side, there's nothing but love, and everyone's love. So this is like unique opportunity. What does not loving yourself feel like? What does feeling not loved feel like? Myself, what to experience it, so it could get to know itself better. And like Craig said, success that nourishes my own soul. That's what I'm discovering.
Mm.
Thank you all. I appreciate you.
Thank you, VM.
Powerful share. Thank you.
Mm. Jesse's words for today were expanding horizons. And that's what you've done over the last few days.
Good morning, Greg.
Good morning.
Morning, Craig.
Hey,
Morning, Craig.
Good morning, Craig. Good morning, Annette.
Good morning. How are you?
Expanding horizons.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear.
Morning, Annette.
Oh, good morning, Allison.
Wonderful
Morning,
to have
Annette.
you here.
Is that Ian I hear too?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Annette.
Hello there.
Well,
Just
hello.
quite a crew here.
Oh, my. It's Nettie.
There you go.
Welcome.
There you go. Hello. Yes, I have a few minutes and thought I'd just sit down and pop in and say hello and just see how everybody is doing and are
Wow.
they creating? Are they not? Are they stuck? Are they, what's going on? So it's just,
Wow.
just to see how everybody is doing.
Oh, wow. I want to say something there. Hi, Nanette. That's really nice to hear your voice, firstly. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you for hopping in, man. Yeah, it's very special. Thank you. To thinking
you're
of us,
welcome.
thinking of us, coming and encouraging us and knowing how we are, in our journey. Yeah. Isn't that special?
Yeah, I don't often get a chance to actually stop and dial in because sometimes I'm
Yeah.
on the road and it's difficult for connection, and other times like I'm just
Wow.
dealing with other things, right? That
Mm,
in the middle of running a vacuum or
mm,
other things like that, it's makes it difficult. But I do sometimes just listen in as the
mm,
either live stream or later on.
mm.
And I listen to when I can or where I can, and it's
Special.
not always the ideal location to call in as well. So
Yeah, thank you.
all good.
Mm.
All good.
How are you? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great.
And your boys?
They're doing great too.
Oh, wonderful.
The youngest one had to move home. Could
Oh,
not make it work in the city. It just
oh.
he paid his rent and had $85 left over to pay for his food and his phone bill for the next 2 weeks.
And how old is he?
25.
Wow. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
tough.
So he's moved home.
25, eh? Wow.
Yeah.
And that's your
'cause
youngest, right?
Our youngest, yes, because he wants to take some other courses. So he's just trying to get his feet under
Wow.
him so that he can carry on.
And your eldest, how old is he?
My eldest is married. He's 30.
Wow. Wow.
And my middle boy is home as well. Now he moved home right after he was done last year from university because he got a job in the
University.
area. And again, it was going to be 3.5 weeks of wages just to pay for the rent.
Wow.
And these
Yeah.
kids, they're young, right?
Man.
They have a car, they can't afford the gas then, right? Because they have to choose between gas and food, right?
Mm-hmm.
The world has become way too expensive to live in.
Yeah.
Tough.
So we have a large home and they have their space, and he's very much into plants, propagating plants, growing unique cactuses right from seed, and succulents and things like that too. So he has that growing. There's a room here in the home that he can do all that in, and he's propagated trees as well. We have sycamore trees and maple trees of different types. We've got probably a little over 200 baby trees in our backyard.
What?
Wow.
What?
Yes.
Yeah. Did I hear
Amazing.
200?
Yeah. So
And
they're
I was just
small.
gonna brag. I was just gonna brag to you about my cactus. I have one, and I love very much, and it grows actually, growing new like new parts. I love it. Yeah, it's a little baby one's growing from my main one now. I've just got it, and then I've got another 2 from growing from the baby, the new one, and then they got 2 little ones coming out from either side. Isn't that
little greens?
Isn't it? Yeah, right.
Yeah,
yeah, it's exciting, right? But 200, oh my god.
Yeah, Yeah,
You
because
way
see, where
ahead.
well, where the garden center where he works at, that's what they do. They propagate plants. So and you know, to put them into a root solution, then into a little soil solution, soil component, and keep them moist and warm, and they start growing into baby trees. But it's the genetics is of the main tree, right? So that's what you're just duplicating the main tree, and so it helps with diseases, and then you know what kind of tree it is because it comes from another plant. So it's, but yeah, he's we got rows of Sharons and all kinds of stuff, bushes of all sorts, rhubarb, you name it. There's like 50 rhubarb plants out there too. So
Wow.
yeah.
You know, you're bringing a lot of oxygen to the air. You know that, right?
Oh, I know.
You know, when
I
you
know.
have a tree in the home, you're bringing more air, more, yeah,
Mhm.
more oxygen. Yeah. It's very, very, very good.
Yeah.
Oh my
So when
God,
we-
that's my
when-
dream. That's
When we
my
go to a
dream.
garden center, I have to restrict him as to what he can bring home because we don't have
Wow.
too much space left. Like he's got racks and racks of stuff that it's like, okay,
Wow.
you really need
I've
to
got to come visit you and see that. I'm serious. I want to sit under your trees.
Well, they're little now, so your toes can be underneath them right now.
Okay. Well, let's sit with them when they're little. Who cares?
Who cares? Yeah.
They're growing, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
That's beautiful.
Just like people grow, right?
Amen.
We put down new roots, and
That's right.
if the environment and surroundings is of the right balance, then we grow, we prosper, we are able to live happy lives, right? And if we have a little bit of a drought, well, we get some water, just like we would water a plant in the hopes that it hasn't gone too far one way, right?
Mm.
But, anyways, I don't want to be here.
No, don't. Anyways,
schooling everybody.
This was spot on. This is spot on what you're saying. I gotta say, this is not anywhere. This is not anywhere. This is really life, and life that
Well,
you're
it
speaking
is.
into me today.
Right.
So let's just know that.
It's how we create
that
it.
right. Yeah,
That is-
absolutely.
It's what we create with what we set down.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
We have a vision. We
That's it.
experience it, what we are desiring, and that's one thing I have tried to eliminate the word want from my vocabulary. It's what I desire, because when I use the word
Me
want,
too.
it identifies that there's a lack of something. So I desire something. It could be that I already have it and I just desire more of it. And so yeah, it's just changing the word patterning also helps with moving forward and looking at life a little bit differently.
Wow, you just confirmed that today. Isn't that just beautiful? And how you confirmed it. Just the way you are, just who you are. I knew when you came on. It's just so it's just knowing, how powerful you are. And not only powerful, but how you come with your message that is so organic. Because it's
the power,
it's you.
So the power comes from also how we deal with things. That's where the power is. How do we cope with things? How do we deal with things? That's where our power lays. If we have choices, we can do nothing, or we can do something. We can do to a degree of something. And our power, I believe, is in how we are coping and dealing with things. And sometimes we have no power. We feel we have no power. And it's because we, quote unquote, give it away, when in fact we are not necessarily giving it away, but we're permitting others to decide for us how we're going to cope or deal with something. So anyway, that's just my take for me.
Can I tell you my take on this? Because right now I put myself on mute. Because it's so like right now I'm skyrocketing. That's how I feel.
You're gonna need a parachute to come down, Nikki.
I don't know about that. I actually like it up there right now. And I'm going to stay there because I'm just seeing stars.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, man. Because that to me, knowing what I know and what you've confessed kindly, gently, in your beautiful way, is exactly what I needed today.
Well, I'm glad that I
You see,
added a little
that's
spice to your life today.
it's not just spice.
And
It's not
sugar
even a
and
spice.
cherries
Yeah,
on
yeah,
top.
there's so much there that it's not just spice. Yeah, because it is life. You've changed someone's life. You
Well,
are
I
life.
don't
No,
think
you are
I
life.
changed
You are life.
somebody's.
You are life. No, you are
I
life.
changed my own life.
See,
I changed my own life. I don't
no,
change
you are
other
life.
people's
Of
lives.
course, you are life. But the reason for a lot of times people don't want to see themselves as God. And that's not egoic. I'm not going there. I'm going as a creator. You came here to create. You came here to build. You came here to be who you're choosing to be. And even
Well,
if it looks little and it doesn't look big, it doesn't matter because you are on your own growth. Yeah.
Well,
You've
one of the things I
grown, you've
really
grown,
appreciate,
you've
one of the
grown.
one of the things I really appreciate is some of the early sessions that Jesse had where we talked about the wobble. Because we talked about the wobble quite a bit. And sometimes it would come in and then the wobble and the giggle and the wiggle. And life does go through that. And it was really good to have those sessions in the sense that when I came to something and I didn't know how to deal with it, then it was like, oh, this is what the wobble feels like. Oh, yuck, I don't like it. And then it's like, okay, what can I do? Sometimes I had to sit in it and really sit in it. And other times I would do a wiggle and a giggle and get out of it. So like each situation's a little bit different. So that's, like I said, I listen to the sessions and I listen to some of the older sessions. I get energy from some of the older sessions. It's definitely different conversation than it is now. All good. But it was good to have as a foundation. That's why I like to go back and listen to some of them. They have good foundational messaging in the sense what we can take from those sessions. And Jesse, please don't get rid of them because they keep them forever because they are good groundings for people just to listen to. They said they talk about the wiggle, the giggle, and all those types of things too.
But isn't that life?
What do you mean?
Isn't that life? The wiggles and the wobbles.
Oh, absolutely, yes. But what it is we came up with names to explain what those feelings are. And so now we have a label for them. And when we get into a situation with ourselves, and then we figure out, oh, this is a wobble. Okay, so what can I do? So we have a label for them. We know what it is. We can figure it out from there in the sense of how we are going to deal with it, how we're going to cope with it. Because otherwise it'd just be explained as something uncomfortable.
Most times we don't see reality. We see our reality.
We see the situation currently that we are in and how we feel what we are currently feeling. We don't always realize that maybe we may have slipped into a past pattern. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we notice we are slipping into a pattern and we can pull ourselves or redirect ourselves out of it. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work.
Yes.
It's just recognizing it. That's the thing. It's just like, I know some of you have heard before, one of the choices I have is showing up in my worst moments the same as I would show up in my best moments, basically. So it's showing up in my creative genius, in my worst moments.
Your truth.
And to do that, to have that choice and really want to live that choice in the beginning, it's difficult because you want to slip into a pattern that you're used to. And you have to stop yourself and say, no, I'm going to show up this way and or differently, or however it is you choose to show up. And it takes weeks and months. At least it did for me. Somebody else might be, a very different timeline. But for me, when I recognized I was showing up differently in times of chaos, I celebrated that inside me. Said, okay, this is a win. This is a win for me. And before you knew it, you had more and more, before I knew it, I had more and more wins. And doggone it, I showed up in a chaos last week and I went back to an old pattern. And it caught me by surprise. I was very upset with myself and apologized to myself for it. Because that's not what I intended to show up for, but I did. And so I just continue to write that choice, showing up in times of chaos, as I would in my times of greatness. So the old patterns in my life are still there. They're just not as frequent. And they're like hiding in a closet and go, boo, and they show up. It's how do I handle it there?
They don't take up as much airspace as they used to, Haley.
No, they don't.
You don't
They
give much
don't.
energy to it either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're focusing on your intention.
Mm.
That's where your
And she's also,
energy
and her
is.
heart, what her really heart wants.
Mhm.
Because that's how you create. You create from your heart. True creation comes from your heart. It doesn't come from anything else than that.
Well, for me, it comes from my gut, my intuition. It also comes from
That
my
is your
head.
heart.
Yes, well, yeah, and my
That
heart
is
as
your
well.
heart. It's just different wording, but it's your heart.
So it's my whole being of how I feel about
It's the
something.
heart of God.
And if I say something and I feel a slight quiver anywhere in my body, then I know I have to question it. Okay, why am I resisting? Even though the resistance might be in my left side or in my right side, in my spine, in my neck, right? Just why did I have that? So for me, I try to then look inwardly in the sense that I sit with it. I try to sit with it. I ask myself, okay, what's happening here? And I'll have a conversation with myself. Because at least I can tell myself what I'm really thinking if I can't tell anybody else.
Yes.
And then have that conversation. But then what it does, it releases that tension of that issue.
You work with a new possibility.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. I'm very happy to hear that. That puts a smile on my face.
You know what the best thing is? The best thing is you can put on a set of earphones or earbuds, and you can have your conversation out in public with yourself, and nobody would know that because you're speaking out loud. They think you're talking.
Isn't it just fantastic? Isn't it just fantastic? I gotta tell you, that's what I do in such a way that I've never heard somebody say it to me like you did. But you came through for me today because that's something I can really resonate and say, boom, doesn't that feel good? I love it. I freaking love it. No one, just like, full on. You go out there and just full on, baby. Yeah, that's
because,
so
like
cool,
I said,
Annette.
You can tell yourself things that you would never tell somebody else.
Oh,
and you can have that discussion then with yourself. Okay, so why do you think this way? Really? You say that? So you have different personalities. So your personalities can confront one another too. And this is just me. This is how it works best for me. But it works for me because I work through little issues and little things that bug me. Or I have a resistance to. So, but anyways.
I'm going to use that now because I talk to myself a lot. But I'm going to put the earphones on now.
High five.
I
High
love it.
five.
And
And
people
high
look like,
five, high
"Oh,
five. Yeah, high five, man.
thanks, I'm going to use that, steal your idea."
Oh God, it's so good, Ian. You're gonna love yourself even more. You're not gonna even know what to do with yourself. You're gonna be so like, okay, let's go. Like literally. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful, man. It's just a beautiful, that's really cool. Wow, thank you. Thank you for that, Annette. Mm.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, really, thank you. It's gorgeous.
And yeah, and life continues up and down, and that's okay.
Yep.
We have to have those because we're living with other people or interacting
Yes.
with other people, so those things have come into play.
Yes.
But if we can come back to, even if we're so exhausted, and maybe go to bed, and in the morning wake up, and at some point, just a few minutes just to focus in on us, we feel so much better again. And then we are off and running again. And who cares about everybody else then, right? Because we're just focused on us, ourselves.
It's listening to your heart. I would, when you say us, meaning listening to your heart, it's so very vitally important here because, we can listen to other voices. We can listen to other people, what we've gone through. And as we brought it very clearly about patterns and truth, what is a pattern and what is a truth? It's very, very, very good one to.
So the patterns, as we move through our creations and we're creating, because as we are creating
Yes.
already beyond our current creation too. That's what's propelling our creations forward. We're already, we might want XYZ, we choose to have XYZ, but to have a choice beyond that is what drives our creations forward. We get sometimes into a pattern, which eventually becomes an old pattern. In order for the new creation to come forth, we sometimes have to then put aside this newer pattern, which now becomes an old pattern, in order for the newer creation to evolve. I've learned that as well. So, we change our old patterns of how we used to do things because we work really hard at that. We create new ways of doing things, and it becomes something old again because we're trying to move forward into something different. It's pretty cool. And some new patterns are great to have. They stay current, they evolve. And some old patterns are good to have too. They're fun to have around, especially if they bring joy to your life. But yeah, anyways, how has everybody been creating lately?
Hi, Annette. I'm Chi.
Hello.
I'm located in Denmark, and I'm from Vietnam. I've been in Denmark for 48 years.
Oh, wow.
And I want to say thank you. Thank you for what you're bringing. Yeah, good stuff.
Very
Yeah,
good.
how have I been creating? Lately, for me, it's been nurturing myself. Listening more to myself, and it's been a big help in this group to co-create and
Yes. Well, that's just it. That's wonderful to hear because you have a focus. You have a focus on yourself. And that is the best place to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree.
And it sounds like you're enjoying it too.
It took me long to get here. I came from Vietnam with all this trauma from war, and I was an orphan very, very early on in my life. Lost everything. Got to Denmark with a lot of trauma and but I'm here now.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the most important.
Yeah.
They're all lessons. They're teaching us something. That's why we had to go through it.
Hmm.
And I love just talking about your fruit trees and all that because I have the same dream of
Oh,
a
do you?
piece of land. Sorry.
Yes, I'm just saying. I just said, "Oh, do you?" Have just complimenting it that way. Yes.
Yeah, me and Heinz, we have a big plan of one day planting trees and having fruit trees, and it's nice to hear you telling about.
It's about my son.
Good to know you.
Likewise. Nice to meet you too.
Thank you.
What's today's title, Jesse?
Creating together.
Creating together. How appropriate.
Co-creating, evolution, evolving, ever-expanding horizons, embracing change.
I like the embracing change. Sometimes the change, sometimes the change isn't what we're really hoping for. But when it's like making a cake, you have all the ingredients and you want to make a change. You have to make the slurry of a batter before you can put it into the oven to bake it. So embracing the slurry is one change, and the baked product is a different change.
And there's always something to clean up.
Yes.
Not if you bake like me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you bake?
Just like what you just explained. You explained it beautifully.
Okay. I just misunderstood the comment. Sorry, that's all.
So to honor your question, Annette, today what it brought forth with my creation was I noticed as if it's a huge gift. It might not be the best word, but it's the vision I had. Just standing outside the door and the door's not open. I opened the door. You just spoke about what's the desire. It's like the desire is not to stand in front of a closed door. But that was the reality. And that is what it appears as if the door is closed. That it has to be open. So that was the creation I was creating this morning. To share the gift, to bring the gift through the open door. Because up to that, it's been outside. It's been alone. It's been the only thing, the answer that's required, in answer that's needed to be heard, listened, implemented. And it's not at this moment.
Have you envisioned what's beyond the door?
Oh, yeah.
And beyond that too?
Yep. I sit in that. That's the tension I work with, hold with, sitting.
Mhm.
And there's times where it bumps up into a frustration of not moving it forward, not being moved forward, not being heard. It's just in the time, in the story, in the place. It has to go, just not on my timeline.
Yes, I hear you say that. We can't force it.
To answer your question about what have we been creating, I've been creating a healthy relationship with myself. I've been, rebuilding the relationship with myself, nurturing myself, loving myself, being honest with myself, taking accountability, allowing myself to feel, feeling self-compassion. And it's baby steps. Like even if I wake up and I choose to have an apple over a packet of crisps, you know? Yeah.
Nothing better than to give that to yourself, Ian. Mm. Mm. The future you, can I just say something, Ian? You want to say something? Because I'm going to reply to you, but if you want to say something, I'll hear what you want to say first, and then I'll reply to you.
Oh, I was just going to say, the more that you give to yourself, the more you can give to others. So I do that now.
I love you. Love you.
Too.
Love you so much. Wow.
What were you going to say, Nikki? I'm curious.
Oh, I'm just, it's just marinating. It's so beautifully for me right now. Marinating, you know, really getting into that, like really feeling that. Not just your words, but getting into that real meaning of what is self, yeah? Who is this? Who's speaking here? Yeah. Because you all think that it's just your words, you know, it's your thoughts. But consciousness comes from a different level of what you're thinking. Just like you can wake up one moment and then wake up the next moment. So your future self is now. Who you becoming is now. It's nothing for you to do than now. And how you thinking now. And how you embodying that now. And how you're putting it into practice. And allowing those things that used to be like a doormat, you become the door. Because you decide who comes into your door. You get to decide who has access to you. Isn't that interesting? And then what happens with people that did know you? They say, oh, you've changed. Listen to the change. And you go, oh, really? I've changed? Oh, yeah, I have. Yes, yes. And unfortunately, those people have to fall away. And it does hurt. There's a process. Because when you invest and commit and connect, then you are like, you're going to feel that. Because you've always been a very sensitive soul. So, yeah, to change. Yes, to change right now. Your word of the day, your change. You are connected. You're connected. And nobody or nothing can take that away from you now. You've knew it from a young little boy.
So what I heard from
So I just want to
Ian-
say, if I can continue, I wasn't really finished. I like to keep my words very calm, you know, so if you don't mind, if I can just say it, because I'm speaking to Ian now. Yeah. Yeah, I'm speaking to Ian. So as I speak to him, it's a reflection of me. So thank you for change today, and thank you for allowing me to change. And through your demonstration and your courage and your strength and what you've endured has made it more so worth it for me to stand here as I'm sitting, but I'm standing with you. Because that to me is really honestly standing on the shoulders of giants. I can only be there. I cannot be anywhere else now. That's what it is. So thank you, Ian. Thank you, Ian.
Thank you, Nikki, for yesterday, and because you saying the truth to me made me see it myself. I need that sometimes. I think we all do. Someone to just not sugarcoat it, just say it as it is, and then you see it yourself. So thank you. What
So
were you
Nikki,
going to
are
say
you
in
done?
that?
I was going to ask Nikki if she's done now. I guess she is. I was going to say what I heard, Ian, was a change in your voice from when I last spoke with you. More confidence and more direction as far as you use the words I and me. And that was really nice to hear the strength in your voice focusing on you. And you actually provide specifics of what you were focusing on as far as creating. And that's really nice to hear, because you have many things that you're focusing on and not just a general overall one bag of tricks, so to speak, right? So that was really nice to hear that strength and that confidence in your voice for your choices of what you're trying to create for yourself and what you have been creating for yourself.
Yeah, one of my choices is to love myself at the deepest level and unconditionally.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Even when you said that, you could hear the change. There was no resistance when you said you wanted to love yourself, because your voice pitch changed in that into a very loving way. In a sense, it was deeper, and you said it a little bit slower too, so you're embracing it. There's that word again, Jesse, embracing.
Thank you, Anna.
Lynette, thank you for the focus on creation.
Oh, you're very welcome. I was just going to put in the chat, I have to pop off. I have to take off here. But thank you very much for having your space here, Jesse, and for the others in contributing to our conversation. I have to get on with my day here. I have a young pup here that is requiring some attention. So I have to deal with that right now. Have a
Enjoy
great
being
day.
with your puppy. Bye.
Thank you. Yeah, everybody
love,
have a
Annette.
great day. You take care.
Blessings.
Yep.
Have a pleasant
Bye-bye.
day.
Love, Anna.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Annette.
Much love. Bye. As they come in, as they go out. Thank you.
Any closing thoughts, words, shares, observations, learnings?
I figured out the wobble, but what's the wiggle and the giggle?
And what's the wobble?
The wobble is when something works against you. It's not the from Danish to English. What is it? Adversity, or what is it called? If you gotta shorten it down.
Mhm.
The giggle sounds like laughing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the confirmation that it's moved through. When you hear it, we know that it's, oh, for the moment it's completed. So it's the breakthrough. So we know the breakthrough's happened. And the wiggle is, in a sense, to what has you see it differently? What allows you to break through it?
Okay.
It's just space. We can give it a bigger perspective, right? A wider space. And then when they giggle, then we know we've gotten the answer of what we need to do is with the giggle.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense. Once you
It's
explained it.
Not always do we get the giggle, but we can tell, like, if there is the giggle, it's just a confirmation. It's the release.
Harmonious feels like relaxation. If you really want to have understanding about the body and how it feels to be in the wobble or the laughter. The body feels relaxed. Instead, emotions are the pain in the body, right? Intense passion is also of the pain in the body. Harmonious feels like different. It's calm. In harmonious love, there is no obsession, thinking about the other person or other, because no one is pushing, no one is pulling, no one is running or chasing. There's clear communication, full presence, and care about each other, because both are building each other up equally. There's no fears of abandonment. The key is to take each other to God. The God in you, I bow down to, in the God in me. And as we know, we live in different realities here. And it's important to know that. We don't see reality. We see our reality. So don't take it personally. It takes a very strong, courageous, well-grounded person to take somebody by the hand and say, walk with me. We walk this together, not separate, not division, together. And if everyone has that mindset and that heart, there will be a flow and it will come easy. That's when you know. what comes up very easily is check your eye. Check the I in me, the I in me, the ego. The ego always wants to be heard, of course. It doesn't listen, just wants to be heard. But when you really listen, it's a gift. You give to yourself. Because it eliminates suffering. To eliminate your suffering. So yeah, I'm embracing change today, that's for sure. No, thank you. So I'll go with Ian's word, change. That's all you can do is change now. So thank you. That's what I learned. That's the lesson I took away.
So if I understood this correct, if you get a wobble, you confront it with a wiggle. And if you're lucky, you get to the giggle.
Is it? Isn't that beautiful put? Isn't that just beautifully put? And I couldn't have said it any better than you could say it. You said it perfect. And whoever listened to that today, they'll know. That's simple. It's very simple. It's not complicated. It's not complex.
It makes life more simple when you have simple words for it.
It's like baking a cake, baby. Bake your cake. Eat it. Enjoy it.
Yep, wobble is you're out of alignment.
But sometimes somebody's wobble is not somebody else's wobble. And they could label it with a different word when the person is just being assertive, or a person is speaking up for themselves, or a person is just allowing themselves to hear themselves say that's enough. It's nothing personal. So it's for you to know that. Because if one feels they're attacking you, or somebody's coming to do some harm to you, then you're a victim. And that's a choice. So we can choose it. You can't be in both. You can't be victorious and victim in the same time. You can't. You got to choose. Just like you have to choose to be a creator or a problem orientation. You got to choose. It's a choice. Right now, choose.
That's what the wiggles the choice. It's space. It's something else. It's a desire. How do I desire this? How would I choose this?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just putting attention and awareness on it for the breakthrough.
Mm-hmm. And being you is very important. What Ian's mentioned today, very important to be you, because it will fall on deaf ears. It will fall on deaf, and they will reject you, and they will not accept it. They will fight you. Oh yes, they will fight you. Yes, they will fight you. But when you speak in your truth, knowing, no, my dear, this is change here for me. This is where I say it stops here with me. And you don't have to agree. And whatever opinion is your opinion. Thank you for sharing. But right now, you're standing in your absolute truth, in your heart-centered as the creator of being you. Welcome to the world. Welcome to this world that we are creating. Not what we were in, what we're creating right now in this present moment. The future you. And anyone that comes now, they either go yes, yes, or they go no. It's their choice. You're not here to convince. You're here to demonstrate, to show, to allow people to feel again. Not be behind closed doors that we can't open up ourselves because we're going to get it slammed in our faces. Because it does. It just gets slammed over and over in your face. And you want to just say, what is this? Huh? Must I just let it just go? No, I know, you know. There's more to what we know. So be open. You've got to be open. So I'm open, very open, because I know. When you know your assignment and you know your purpose, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's what you know. And you can say no. No, sorry, not today. Today, I give myself a yes. Today, I can look and see everything from the shadow to the light, to the dysfunction to the function, to the yes to the no. It's all creating all at once, spontaneously. Just like that. So yeah. And this today was a confirmation that I know that I've been receiving, and I have not been able to bring it into a way that it's been a little bit more comforting, more accepting, more appreciating, more valued. And then I thought, but now I realize I can and I will. There's no more looking back. Because you are not that anymore. You're you right now.
I love that sound. It reminded me of the youth when you jumped through the water that was spraying.
Yeah, it's ripple effects, you see. It's ripple. That's all we're doing here. Ripple effects. So I like when people come in with a word of encouragement and embracing what is new. Isn't that beautiful? What's the possibilities that things can change? You know, you can have, it's just, it's really beautiful. But you can't create something new as long as you're creating something old. Yeah. And that's, to me, that's a message I create, because I know whatever I voice out is not for somebody to accept it or not accept it. I'm going to go forwards with this, with me. I know what it took me to get to me. Yeah, this knowing. I know what it took me. I know my journey. I know my story. I know who I am in this now moment. And it is to be able to say, bring it. I'm ready now to bring it. And that, all of what I have exposed to, as Ian has mentioned beautifully, that is when you know, doesn't matter what comes your way now, you have to really know what you want. This is the question, to know what you want. And I use the word want now, as Annette says she doesn't use. I don't use saying also what. I can agree with that because it resonates with me. You hear that? because I can only understand certain things. You can only understand certain things, and that's okay. But when it resonates and go, oh yeah, that I can resonate with that. Okay, I'll jump on that, because it's adding on, you see, it's not taking away. Once somebody takes away from you, then you're not in a place to be. Then you need to go. You really need to go. You're not here to convince anybody, right? You're not here to convince. You're just here to be. So what do you want? That's the question. Yeah, what do we want? Because we're always considering what others want, what others are thinking. Like it or not, that's the truth. It's the truth. And a pattern is what we allowed ourselves to continue because we thought we had to. To think. Your power's never left you. It's never left you. It's not taking your power back. I have to emphasize on that. You've always been powerful. It's just coming back to you. And that I'm very thankful for. And yes, I am finished. Thank
Nikki,
you.
can you make me an audiobook so I could just listen to it? It'll be nice.
Well, yeah, and just thank you. Because when God stood on the cross, and we have to bring our burdens, and we have to bring all these things that we struggle on a daily basis, because we're going to. There's no question about it, because if we don't, we won't need to know who we really are, in knowing that you are the creator. And when Christ said it is finished, he meant it. It is finished. And when he also said, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. That's the beginning of your journey. So yeah, I am finished. Thank you. Love you all very much. Love you very much. And I know what love is. And I also know what intimacy is too. This is intimate. Yeah, this is intimate. People want to associate love with a lot of things, with the many things, what you do for them, having sex and all that. It's not love, man. It's not love. If you do that, I will love you. No, that's not love. It's manipulation, controlling. It's not love. You've got to get down to the root of love. Get real. Get really, 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 really real with yourself.
Sex
and you will
is a
see love.
place.
Yeah.
A sensation.
And it's just, this it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. So thank you.
I'm gonna head off now. I'll thank you, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Much love.
Good day, Ian. Take care.
Bye, Ian.
Big love, Ian.
Bye, Ian.
Yeah. Thank you all too. I am complete. Have a great day. Until next time.
Thanks for a great day, all of you. Love you all.
Love you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. All.
Bye.
Okay, love and hugs,
Take care.
everybody.